Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how I passed the BCBA exam on the first try, and hopefully you do too. Just to preface, we are going to talk about some resources that you might have to pay for, but there's also some study materials that you don't have to pay for that are absolutely free, and I'm going to be sharing both. But honestly, if I recommend something that I purchased, it's because I actually used it to study for the BCBA exam. So I just wouldn't recommend something if it wasn't actually good. So let's get right into it. Okay guys, so I actually studied for the BCBA exam for really hardcore for 3 months. As I mentioned in my previous BCBA video, you will be learning a lot in your grad school program in your courses and pretty much applying it when you're doing your unrestricted hours and stuff. So when you're doing your hours to sit for the exam, you're going to be applying everything that you learned. So you're already kind of studying the whole way, but strictly I did study for 3 months. Right after I graduated, I dedicated 3 months and then I scheduled my exam. So I graduated in May and I took the exam in August and I passed. So I just wanted to let you know that. Okay, we're starting off strong with free resources. Honestly, you don't need the Cooper book. I know that's like a sin to some BCBAs because I know that a lot of BCBAs, I don't know, like some of the BCBAs I've worked with in the past told me like I read the Cooper book to study, whatever. But honestly, that's not fun to me. I don't like to sit there and read a boring book. I love reading, but just not about behavior analysis. Sorry, I like to read about love and like romance, not ABA. So I did not read that. But, you know, maybe Cooper works for you. For me, honestly, I'm not going to sit there and read chapter by chapter. That is so boring. So what I do recommend is for you to go to Facebook and you're going to go into these groups. These are the groups that I literally made a Facebook for because I didn't have a Facebook, but I made one so that I can be in these groups. And there you'll search up different things. You can search up BCBA study guides, BCBA materials, whatever, and a whole bunch of things pop up. But in that, they have these Cooper guided notes and Cooper quizzes. I did use a little bit of those. Like, I'm not going to say that's like my number one study material that I use. It's not. But if you wanted to like not read the whole Cooper book but still get the information from there, I recommend doing that. And to also take the Cooper quizzes that are like basically at the end of every chapter. The second free study material I really recommend are subscribing and watching these two people on YouTube. Unfortunately, I did want to mention that Jessica did pass away, and you know, when I heard that news, I was just so devastated because I remember like watching her videos while I was studying. Oh my gosh, she was so helpful. She actually has like a super long video where it's like a complete mock exam that she made. And oh my goodness, when I heard that, you know, she was going through a lot of health issues, but I was just like so touched by that because like, oh my god, like she was just so helpful. So I really do recommend subscribing to her channel and checking out her videos because they were very helpful. Moreover, I do think that this other guy on YouTube, oh my god guys, I watched so many of his videos because his explanations were honestly very good and they're free. I literally recommended that to so many of my friends because I was just like, dude, this guy is awesome. Like his videos are really in depth and he goes every single question by question going through them. So honestly, you need to already be watching their videos. He is amazing. He was one of my top go-tos while I was studying for the BCBA exam. I binge watched all his videos. Every day I watched like 5 videos. I swear, he's that good. So those are pretty much the free resources that I used to study for the BCBA exam. Something that I would recommend doing is, like I said, going on those Facebook groups, but also reaching out to your supervisors. I'm sure if you're sitting for the exam, you're probably working with a supervisor. So just ask them, like, what did you use to pass the exam? And honestly, from some of the BCBAs that have supervised me in the past, they've given me a lot of resources too. I got a couple free mocks from them, so you just always want to reach out to them because they will literally like help you and send you their study materials. So you definitely want to reach out to your supervisor and ask them if they have anything that they can give you, because I did get free mocks from them from whatever they were using in grad school. They sent it to me, which was awesome and a huge help. Moving on, I would recommend completing mock exams. If there's one thing that you could take from this video to pass a BCBA exam, it's really applying everything you've learned. The BCBA exam is super hard, and it's not like definition questions, it's really application questions. So what I recommend doing is sitting and doing mock exams. Honestly, I wasn't too concerned about the time constraint. I took the entire 4 hours that you had to take the BCBA exam. I just made sure that once I was done with half of the test, I took a break and I went to a bathroom, just like calmed down, prayed a little bit, honestly, and then I went back into the room. So that's something I recommend doing, taking your time during the test. But then I really suggest just getting used to mock exams. Some mock exams that I used were from ABA Wizard. I did pay for that, so those are some that I recommend. They were just really good, and they have explanations after you take the test on every single question, if I'm not mistaken. Something that my friends and I did purchase was the ABA Wizard app. So the ABA Wizard app was pretty good. Like every day I would just kind of like sit there and do a couple of questions. And again, they have explanations to the question, which is always awesome. I recommend if you're gonna buy a mock exam, make sure it has those explanations so you know why you got something wrong. So I do recommend the app, although it wasn't my first thing that I would go to. I was just like, let's say I was out and about and maybe I wanted to answer a few questions. I did do that. So I recommend getting the ABA Wizard app because it's pretty, you could take it anywhere. You could be like, I don't know, in the mall, let's say, and you're like, oh my God, I haven't studied today. And you just do a couple questions, you feel a little bit better. It's just how me and my anxiety work together. But I don't know. I recommend the app though, it's good. So something else that I purchased actually when I was in undergrad for studying for the BCBA exam was Study Notes ABA. Honestly, I've heard mixed reviews about it. I wasn't in the collective or anything like that, in the live ones. I purchased the one that's like a recording, but honestly, it was really, really good. I really liked it, and I'm gonna show you the notebook I used. So I actually threw away the original notebook I had since I had been doing my bachelor's, and I had thrown it away because it was just like ugly handwriting all over the place. But I actually rewrote the Study Notes ABA. See, there's collective 1. They're all in here. I've rewritten this notebook I don't know how many times, just because I really learned a lot from Study Notes ABA. I definitely recommend them. Honestly, I thought they were great. I liked their explanations. Sometimes it was just like the jokes were kind of like weird. Like I'm not a person that likes like dirty jokes, and yeah, Leah and Casey, like sometimes the jokes were like, I don't know, weird, like for my liking. But like honestly, like the way they explained things was pretty relatable. So I think that's why it just stuck to me. Like so many concepts that were a little hard to understand, like in the Cooper book or whenever I was in grad school, I would go back and just look at the collective notes, and it would help me so much. Guys, something I recommend doing before the exam is, in the exam they give you a paper with a dry erase marker, so you can just like jot down everything. Like, I don't know, this is how my anxious self works. So what I did was practice what I was gonna write as soon as I got there. I don't know, I just wanted to like brain dump a whole bunch of things that maybe were the hardest concepts for me, and like how to remember them, right? So this is something that I did. I would practice it every single day before I got to the exam. This is what my brain dump looked like, and I just like to add like cute little designs and stuff like that. Things that are really hard for me was always educational methodologies, which is like, who created DTT? What's DTT? Incidental teaching, direct instruction, like those type of things were always hard. So I just right here, I'm literally gonna like record it so you guys can see a little bit of how mine look like. But I definitely recommend doing this. This just made me feel better. This was like my like little like safety blanket. I don't know how to describe this to you. Like I just took this with me to the exam, this same paper, and I took it there. And once I sat down in the exam room, like they said start, and I was out here drawing a whole bunch of things, making it cute, because that's just how I am. I don't know, but I recommend doing it just so you feel a little bit better. I don't know if that's helpful in any way. But like I said, if you want to do the live collective, that's totally great, but I recommend doing the one that I did, which was the recording of the live, and I think it was it's a good amount, 150 I believe, or maybe 200 now, but when I paid for it I think it was like 100 or 150. And honestly, I don't regret it. Like I had mentioned a little bit earlier, you do want to reach out to your supervising BCBAs because they're always there to help you, right? One of my BCBAs that I love so much, she actually gave me the Pass the Big ABA exam manual, like the book. She gave that to me, and I really I looked through it. It was pretty good explanations as well, but I really focused on completing the quizzes that were in the end of every chapter as well, because like I said, if you're studying for the BCBA exam, just always do questions. Questions is the most important thing that you can do. Mock exams, if you're gonna buy anything, it has to be mock exams. That's the most beneficial thing. But like I said, she gave me the Pass the Big ABA exam, and although it's not my top one, I did use it, and it was pretty useful if you're looking into getting that. So just to sum up, my biggest study exam material that I used was Study Notes ABA and taking mock exams, as well as looking at both of the YouTubers that I had mentioned previously. Those were the big main things that I used to pass the BCBA exam on the first try, and I really recommend just sitting down, really grasping the information, and then applying it to questions. I cannot stress that enough. Answer questions. It's not about knowing the material. It's about applying what you've read, what you've learned. I'm actually trying to think back to the BCBA exam. I just felt like it was so long ago, and right as soon as I got that single paper, if you guys didn't know, if you get 2 papers, I'm pretty sure it doesn't mean you pass, because they give you like the paper that you didn't pass, and then it gives you what you scored on in the sections. So if you get that one paper, just know you're good. And I almost died in the BCBA exam because I saw a girl, she printed the paper out, right? And I see her holding 2 papers, and I almost had a heart attack. But she's like, oh, so what's your name again? And she's looking on both. So I was like, oh my god, okay, I think we're good. And then she's like, I'm like, Natasha, and she gives me that one paper. I was like, oh my god, like I felt so relieved, so happy. So honestly, I'm hoping and praying that that's the same case for you guys. And if you have any more questions, please make sure to leave me a comment, because I do read every single comment and I try to respond to every single one. So if you have any questions on anything, please comment, send me a DM on Instagram, whatever you want, and I will make sure to answer it on a video. So thank you so much for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you in my next one. Bye!